So, hello, Cyberland. My name's Marlon. The channel's Old Fart Hacks. And what we're continuing with is fitting up this 4-jaw chuck to the spindle here on my Vevor 7x14 mini lathe. I've gone through and determined that, yes, this whole pattern will fit, and so on and so forth. I've gotten some new studs. But before I do that, I actually want to take the chance to do two things to the spindle here. First, there's a couple of minor-ish burrs on here. I also want to see if the spindle is actually perpendicular to the carriage. Tappity tap, 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 tap. I could use a tool for this. You know, just use a light, gentle tool to tap it in, but no. I will do this the right way. So anyway, there we've got it zeroed up, more or less. And the runout's quite good. I mean, that gauge is on a half thou, and it's virtually not moving. So this surface is turned very nicely, which I more or less believe that these surfaces were turned after the spindle note was assembled. So let's try and get on the face here and get some indication as to what's going on here. Okay, that's pretty good. And I'm quite pleased with that face run out. That is not moving whatsoever. So anyway, one of the things I wanted to do on this is to clean up the nose of that spindle ever so slightly. I guess I just found out. That's taken off a little bit of the burrs I had seen. There's some rough spots. There's a little bit of high spots like the one right here. I don't know if you can see that or not. And the other thing I wanted to do requires me to go get a file. I'll be right back. But there are some burrs right here. In fact, this whole thing's rather was just a quick crude drill hole through here. This is not a precision surface at all. So we might as well tidy this up just to make sure that it doesn't impact or interfere with proper seating of the chuck. So a little cleanup and deburring is not a bad idea. Just a little tidy up, you know, the old itty-bitty tidy up thing. Okay, I think we're going to do this again. And use the sandpaper to knock off what little bits I can. Yep, just a little bit here, a little bit there. Here a bit, there a bit, everywhere a bit. So I want to make sure that there are no protuberances there. Okay, so nose cleaned up, chuck, in with the chuck. This only goes in one way, but once you find that one way, it's all good. The washers I'm using this are a wave washer with a split. And the reason I'm using this is they're much less likely to mar up the surfaces than the ones that Vevor used, which were just your cheap, you know, regular split washer, which are not good for, I mean, they're okay. I mean, they work, but they also damage surfaces. And I'm trying not to damage these surfaces if I don't have to. So, and the process here is, of course, just get the nuts on. Get them on. The only advantage to this setup is if you want to turn backwards, there's no problem because the loading is taken up by the screws. or the studs actually, let's use the right term. Saved you guys correcting me. So the loading is taken up by the studs if the jaw or if the chuck slips on the nose. That is a mild interference fit, so that isn't all that likely to happen. And the reason I'm not tightening any of these up before I get these on is, number one, to give me a little more room to work. In fact, number two, it's also to give me a little more room to work, and perhaps even number three, it's to give me a little more room to work. Getting these started is not the easiest thing in the world. Okay, got them all started. Next step, run them down until we're getting contact on all four of them. And then I have a high-end precision wrench that I use with this. You'll see it in a moment. It's designed expressly for this purpose. I'm joking, of course. The problem is this takes a 13mm wrench, and guess what wrench I cannot find tonight? And what the heck did I do with my wrench? Okay, I found the fancy-dancy correct wrench to do this. Always use the right tool, and this is always the right tool. Unfortunately, this uses a 13mm wrench or size, and for whatever reason, I just can't find any of my 13mm. But then I have a few people around the house too, and the tools, they tend to perhaps be more mobile than I would like. I wish I could have found the 13. Of course, I would have stuck the box end on there and been screwed, wouldn't I have? Okay. And in an instant, yeah, right, we now have the new chuck bolted up. Does it run? Why, of course it runs. Whee! And I'll have to check that for run out and all that good stuff. But it looks like it's okay. Hard to say with a 4-jaw. But anyway, all right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as you can see, the Sano, I think it's Sano, it's something similar to that, 4 jaws on the bolt hole pattern I'll give you in this will bolt up and run. So that's it for tonight. I hope you guys have a good life. Don't forget to give me a like and a subscribe if you would, please. And have a good one. Bye all.